if you're gonna push out continuous records, that one that people grabs to, yo, let's run ads on it, let's shoot some content, let's keep this moving. You gotta keep pushing it because all it takes is one record to change your life, man. All it takes is one.
Right. We kicking it.
What's going on? It's your boy DJ Killa. Of course, you're locked into the first episode ever of Kicking It with Killa. And my guest for the first episode, I had to reach out to my mans. Some say that he might be a little comedian. He's really funny to me. He'd be doing this thing. He's a rapper. Some might actually call him the hip hop savior. Let me introduce to y'all Mr. Vatio. What's going on, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Killa Noise, what it do, Brody?
Ain't nothing, man. We just constantly working, man. Trying to put on new grinds out here. You know how that is.
Yeah, so every day, man. No
Yes,
breaks
sir.
and no
Yes,
breaks,
sir.
man.
Exactly. So one thing I gotta say about you, right, is this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play a clip real quick, right? Because one thing for sure is you're mad animated when it comes to certain things, right?
Yeah.
So let's just play this. Let's play this clip real quick.
I got some jewelry. The rest I got tied up in investments. I ain't got nothing else.
Please instruct your client to remove his sunglasses. This is a courtroom.
Oh, you ain't got to instruct me to do nothing.
That thing is hilarious, right? So, have you ever thought about doing any acting? Are you thinking about getting into any of that, or what? What do you think?
I'm already into acting. For the past year, almost a year and a half, I've been filming a web series called The Renegades.
Okay.
I have one of the main acting roles on there as Detective Hudson, which pretty much is like just to kind of give you a quick, analysis of the show. It's pretty much a show where a whole bunch of like rejects get together for like this undercover, quiet, team of ex-felons, ex-cops, and they all come together to try to like save the world under the nose of the law. So it's like the law knows who we are, but they don't know who we are, and so we try to save the world in different aspects. So which that show will be out the end of this year. Then after that, we're doing a comedy movie which is based around call centers in South Florida. So I'm already locked into acting for the past year and a half. So it's been crazy because, again, we've been filming for a year, almost a year and a half for a web series, 6 episodes, an hour long. So it's been a lot of work, man, but I'm locked in with the acting already, man.
So the web series, is that already released, or like how do we see it when it comes out, or if it's already out?
It's not out yet. We're still it's about 80% done filming, and as far as editing, today I have to go do voiceovers for episodes 2. We're about halfway done editing the 6 episodes. So when it do drop, is going to be out on of course YouTube, and hopefully we're going to be pitching it to like Tubi and Amazon Prime and things like that, but it'll definitely be on YouTube for sure, and we'll have a premiere out here in South Florida at the movie theaters, a red carpet event as well.
Right, so that sounds good. So I know that you constantly stay busy, my guy. And I saw something, I ran across something else called Chicho Eats. What's that all about?
Chico BE. So it's just another piece of content I like to do. I love food, so I've traveled a lot of places. I eat at a lot of places. So when I go to these places, I just film content, and eventually I'm gonna get into that. I've just been kind of trying to focus on one thing right now. Then everything else is just kind of follow. But I have a lot of things. I have the comedy, the food, the music, and I'm doing the filming as well. So I'm just trying to keep my hands in everything that I'm good at.
Staying busy. Let's talk about the music. Let's jump on that real quick. You've been doing this for a couple years, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, man, I know I got at least 30 years, 25, 7. Yeah, I got about 30 years in music.
30 years. So what
of writing.
Okay. So did you write for people before, or is it like, were you just performing, or was it like, because you're saying writing, like,
because
behind the scenes for a little bit, or what?
In the beginning stages of me doing music, it was just me writing raps. You know, I was always
Okay.
writing. I wasn't in the studio. I actually performed my music before I even recorded music in the studio,
Okay.
like on
Okay.
stage. So, but for years, since I was 7 years old, I've been writing music, you know, and since I was about 15, I've been professionally recording music since then.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
so that's how that worked.
So what keeps you motivated? Like what keeps you going with this whole music game?
I don't know, man. It's just like a bug. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's like it's hard to let go when you've been doing it so long. I mean, it's like they say, riding a bike, you can never forget how to ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like one of those
Hmm.
things. I I go to the vent. I vent in my music. There's a lot of music I don't release because it's just like a personal venting thing I'm doing. But
Right. Right.
it's just my calling, man. It's like anytime I've done other things, I've done live streaming, did good at that, and you know, content, been good at that. But when I start
Mhm.
getting to the music, man, that's when the biggest progress happens for me. And I noticed
Right.
that.
Right. I kind of feel you on that, right? So obviously, myself in the music game for a little bit. I find myself, even though I took a little time out because I wasn't really feeling the music that was coming out for a small period of time,
I
but
agree.
you know, um, for some reason it keeps calling me back, right? It,
Yeah.
it keeps calling me back. And the first thing, I think probably one of the first things, and people haven't even heard this joint yet, actually. My first beat that I made back into this game, I sent it to you,
Right.
right? They didn't even hear it yet. Nobody's heard this yet.
Wow.
And that thing is a banger. And I've been sitting on it for a little bit. I'm trying, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a little bit because everything else that we've been seeming to do together has been
Yeah.
working out pretty well. I feel like we're
Right.
working pretty good together, right? But
Absolutely agree.
yeah, once it's time and I go ahead and release the other piece, I think people are gonna be wild about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So I know you work. Are you getting ready to work with Dunn? Is that something else going on too?
Yeah, I've already worked with Dunn. Me and
Right,
Dunn, so I had this concept, right? Where I would take classical albums from legendary artists and remake
right.
them into my own and turn it into an EP. So one of the
Okay.
EPs I was working on was The Ghost of Biggie. And Dunn
Ah,
has sent me a remake of Notorious Thugs, and I actually recorded the song. But after that, I was trying to get multiple producers a part of it, and Dunn was the only person that kind of like submitted a beat to it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we've already been we're gonna pick up where we left off, but we're already locked in on that. We already like one song in on the Ghost of Biggie project.
I like that. I like that. So there's another song I ran across real quick. Nissan Altima, right? If you go
Oh
to your
yeah, yeah, yeah.
page, if you
Mm-hmm.
go to your page, that's like one of the first things that people see. Like
Mm.
run through the process of that right there. Like because you snapped on that thing, right? So
Yeah.
like run through that process. What made you even decide to even jump on that beat? Like, what's the deal?
So one day I'm like most of my hot songs or dope songs, they start in my
Hmm.
car. I'm listening to the
Okay.
beat. I'm moving around the city running errands and I'm listening to the beat. So I love Doechii. Doechii is a phenomenal artist. She's a breath of fresh air to me. So I
Yes,
was
she is.
listening to her album. And of course, that's one of the main, songs that she has promoting. And I was listening to that song and I'm like, let me see if I can find this beat. And then I turned the beat on YouTube and I was just rapping in my car for hours that day. And
Ah,
just was like, oh, it's easy to me. This is easy. And I'm just rapping and rapping. I hauled ass home and literally just started recording. Mind you, I don't, I write in my head. I don't write things down. So I had like the first like 10, like 12 bars in my head that I wanted to say. Then after that,
right,
it
right.
was just fun for me. It was fun. It was just a fun thing to do. So it was easy for me. It was like, if it starts in my car, it's going to be a banger.
I feel like that's easy because you have your own studio that you're recording everything, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
I find that almost like that's almost better, right? When you can just have fun with it, right? You can sit at the house, you can kind of think, and I don't know how you write your verses and whatnot, but so a lot of cats might like hear the beat, think of like the melody, like the cadence that they're going to use, and
Hmm.
then just step in the booth, like boom, okay, these couple lines come to me. Let me drop these couple lines real quick.
Hmm.
All right, what's next? Okay, let me jump into these couple lines next. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, is
Yeah.
that your process as well?
It's a part of it,
Right.
because it all depends on how vibey I am with the song. Because there are some records I went in there and just ran through a whole 16 or 12 bars, just like straight through.
Right.
And then there's some joints where I'm more like trying to beat like more intricate, and then I just kind of like slow down and like, yo, let me say these bars, and then I'm thinking a little bit more. So it all depends, you know what I'm saying? That Doechii joint was one of them ones, the bars was just coming. It was just coming, it was coming. So I'm like, oh, this is easy. This is easy. And for me, rapping is easy. It's something I've been doing since I was 7. So if I gotta do bars and metaphors and simile, I can do that with my eyes closed. That's so easy for me.
So you're like a lyricist, right? That's what we're gonna call you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. And that means you got bars. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I mean, anybody, especially anybody that hears me, you know what I mean? Especially like of course I look at the comments when I post these videos, and I look at what people are saying. They literally consider me as a breath of fresh air when I'm rapping, because it's like I have substance. Then I switch my voices, and I switch the cadence. Like I'm all around dope artist, man. Literally, I'm definitely a lyricist. I'm an artist, a rapper. I'm all the above. I'm hip hop savior, man.
There you go. So that brings me to something real quick. I'm gonna play something real quick for you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, son? Yeah, this hip hop. This is what we do. You see some of these old be acting like the new young son. I see them older than me, 44. The had a regulars beat. Knock that out. Woo-hoo. They that 2-piece from KFC, you heard? Original recipe. Other night, you get the out. But I'm here to save that shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to out, get this back in order. We need the rap union. We need a rap union, son. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no rap union. And these out here mad, son. These is shooting up with their eyes closed like this, son. Me? Knock out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. We bringing hip hop back. Give it.
Knocking them out. Beep, boop.
That's that hip hop energy, man.
Yo, like, so when you sat there and did that, like, was that all off the top of the head? Did you just sit down and just press record and like whatever comes out, or you already had it planned in your head? Like, this is what I'm about to do.
Yo, spare the moment shit, man.
Right.
That's literally spare the moment, because like, you know, once I drop this EP, you're going to see a lot of more of that. It's just a part of a whole campaign that I've had filmed and recorded for, that I'm going to start pushing out once the EP starts, you know, to roll out. So you're going to see a lot more of that. And that just was like just a part of content. You know what I mean? Content is king nowadays. So I wanted to match that hip hop savior type of feeling, and it was just off to the fly, man. The idea came to my head because I've always been like my friends will tell you, I create characters. If you haven't seen me over the years, I've done the Kevin Smashed Your Wife, the dude with the wigs. I've done so many characters, and one of the characters I had, we called him Frank Judy. And Frank Judy was like this old school hip hop dude that been in jail for 30 years. And he came home with his jail tactics and beating niggas up and doing all wild shit, but he do it for hip hop. So I just kind of brung that to the forefront of, you know, what I'm doing now, because it's a different side of me outside of just looking at music and like, oh, he's nice. Well, you can see I have personality as well when I bring, you know, certain characters to the forefront. So it's all a part of the campaign that's about to come out.
There we go. I like it. So I know you said that you do a lot of your recording pretty much on your own. You have your own studio, but it looks like you kind of stepped out for a little bit and end up working with Grammy Award-winning engineer at Circle House Studios. How was that experience? Did you learn stuff from him? Like, how was everything with that?
Man, it was dope, man, because I know him personally, and we've known each other for like a few years, and we've never done anything music, which I'm glad we didn't, because I wasn't in the mind frame I was in at now. Right. So, you know, he seen me working, he seen me like putting the work in. He was like, you know, yo, come through. Like, let's just pull up, let's vibe. And I wasn't expecting to record. I wasn't expecting to do music. So when we got there, we was kicking it or whatever. And he was like, yo, so you ready to record? I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, it's nothing to me. Like, yeah, say less. And he put on a popular producer, a list of his beats. He pulled them out. We kind of went through them, and I recorded some shit. We couldn't put it out because you know how the business goes. We got to get things cleared and shit. So, but yeah, it was a dope experience, man. I learned some things from him, and I've been knowing it's actually my girlfriend's best friend. It's one of her best friends, and she put me on to him. And ever since then, we've just been kind of locked in. But he's a super, super talented, hardworking engineer, man. And shout out to my man Nigel.
There you go. And let's transition right into Kevin Gates. Like, how did that come about there?
Man, I ain't gonna glaze crazy, but I'm gonna be honest. Like Kevin Gates is like like when it comes to his music, I relate to it a lot. I just a lot of relatable things he went through in his life, I went through. So it's how music is when you feel it from an artist, you locked in with them. So just one day I'm just seeing him go live, and I just press live. I'm in San Diego at the time. I pressed live, and he actually accepted, and we just kind of like did a quick bondage moment where we was just pouring into each other energy wise. And ever since then we've been locked in, man. I mean, we don't have these drawn out long conversations, but we do small communication here and there, and it's dope because I'm not glazing him. I'm just, I'm not saying, check out my music. I'll comment on his shit and he'll say something back and we'll have a laugh or two. It's just like a real regular, cordial relationship.
Yeah, and that's always good. That's always good to have that. At least if worse come to worse, I feel like he might be able to have your back, or if anything goes down, like kind of guide you into the right direction if need be. You know what I'm saying? So that's always good to have that type of friendship with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, true. Agreed, man. Agreed.
So a while back, probably a year ago, I sent you this beat. Right. Time passed. I know life happens. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I hit you up. Hey, what's up with that beat? What's up with that verse on the joint? You jump on it. You do your thing, and just that fast, you put it out. Right.
Yes, sir.
Were you expecting the reaction that you got from that song?
No, not at all. I knew I wanted to put the song out because how I was rapping, I'm like, yo, this is what I call fly rap. I call it fly rap, not in style, but it's just like trendy. It's like cool. It's like the hip hop heads be like, oh, that shit is hot. Yeah, and I knew what I was saying and the cadence, how I brung in the record. I'm like, yo, people might fuck with this. You know what I mean? But I didn't expect like people to grasp on it like they have been, and it just kind of been like, I can post that song 10 times in one day and I'll get thousands of views on it. And to this moment, it's just like, yo, because again, a lot of people, we live in a world, I tell people this all the time. We live in a world where it's billions of people. Yeah. So as much as I got to keep pushing that record and dropping it, there's somebody who hasn't heard it, and the algorithm pushes it out to people that hasn't heard it. So you get another 1,000 group of people like, damn, where you been at? I ain't hear this in a while. But they love that record. They love that Killa Noise joint. That is like, I get people tagging me on Facebook, quoting my lines on that joint to this day, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta keep this thing going, man, because they see, and that's the plan when you're doing music as an artist in today's atmosphere. If you're gonna push out continuous records that people grabs to, let's run ads on it, let's shoot some content, let's keep this shit moving. You got to keep pushing it because all it takes is one record to change your life, man. All it takes is one.
Right. So you decided to take that thing a little step further and do the open verse challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have my favorite that I heard from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, can you think off the top of your head who probably killed it the most off of that open verse challenge?
Man, it's this kid. He was light skinned. I forgot his name. Bright as the sun or something like that. Be as bright as you can or something like that. I liked his verse. His verse, I liked his cadence, his voice. He has one of those voices that are captured like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, I rock with boy. I liked his verse. The light skin, I think it's bright as you can, bright as it can be, or something like that on my TikTok. Yeah. But that was one of my favorites.
Well, shouts out to Bright. We'll figure out what his name is.
Yeah, Yeah, I always speaking. He always like, yo, we gotta work, bro, and we're gonna figure it out. But he's dope. Like his voice, he has that voice. You know how hip hop, like a
Yeah.
lot of the legendary artists have a voice that just captures you. So he
Yes.
has one of those voices, man. So and I like his bars as well. He's pretty good. So shout out to Bright.
So let's dig deep into that, right? Let's comparison, and I don't want to be the old head here, right?
No, we
But
gotta be. We gotta be.
let's think about that because you just said something that triggered something in my brain real quick. Back in the days, I feel like when let's just go with the bigger names. When Pac came on, you knew that was Pac, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Biggie came on, you knew that was Biggie,
Right.
right? When I don't know, Busta, whoever, right?
Yeah.
Ti, Jeezy, you knew Jadakiss, you knew that was them, and I kind of feel, and we're getting back because there's definitely some fire dropping, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like we were stuck in a moment where everybody was trying to sound like each other.
Yeah. I agree too. And that was around the time I was kind of like chilling, just kind
Right.
of like analyzing and seeing things. And it was just kind of like, oh, yeah, the new artist who sounds like the old artist, that was the new artist. Like so it's just like, you know, and we come from that era of artists who when they drop and they were big, or whether they weren't or were big, they had their own sound. They
Yes.
sounded like themselves. And if you was to come out sounding like somebody else, niggas would clown you.
Yep.
They would
Yep.
clown you like, oh, you trying to bite son, or you trying to sound like da 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 da. And nowadays it's like, oh, different doesn't work. What says who? But
Says
that's
who, exactly.
yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's just like perception of what you
Mhm.
have to do to get on. But again, like I tell people all the time, stop chasing numbers and chase fans, you know?
Right.
And that way you can solidify yourself as an artist. You don't need the glitz and glamour. You don't
Yeah.
need the millions of dollars from the record labels. If you create a fan base, that's your financial backing because they're gonna believe in you. They
Yep.
love
Yep.
your music enough. They love what you're doing. You're different. A lot of people are tired of hearing the same thing.
Yes.
You know,
And
a
and
lot of
that's why I think that's why when reading your comments, that's why you are getting like this is a breath of fresh air, right? Because this is what people are looking for, man. They're looking
yeah,
for those lyricists, right? Think about Coast Contra, man. Like they're killing it, and they're just essentially just was doing a freestyle around the table and end up doing crazy numbers. Now they're on tour. Now they're, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
so they're
And that
people
goes
are
to show
looking.
you. That goes to show you that there's a niche for everything nowadays. So
Yes.
when people were like, "Oh, hip hop is dead" or "rap is dead," no, it's not.
Not.
Mainstream maybe is getting boring, and now it's turned from rap to court cases or gossip. But
Yeah.
when you peel back the layers and you're looking at to the underground, there's artists that probably fucking 80% of this country hasn't heard of, but the 20% is investing into that artist. And you go on TikTok and you see that artist has 100,000 followers. He's on tour. He's doing numbers on all the platforms, and a lot of people hasn't heard him. Why? Because he wasn't focusing on being the biggest artist. He was just focusing on gaining fans, keeping the consistency going, and keeping the quality content going. And
Right.
that's what's important. A lot of artists need to realize that's where you make your money at. That's how you become successful.
Yes. Yes. And you're right on point, man. Like, just be you. I found myself in a quick. I found myself for a second, right? Like I realized that my beats have a certain feel to it, right?
Right.
And whenever I try to sit down and I'm like, okay, I like this particular beat. Everybody seems to be fooling with this particular artist's beat, right? And I'm like, okay, let me emulate what they're doing. It never works out. It never
Yeah.
works out for me, right? And
I
never
know the
works out.
feeling, man. I know
So
I go.
I had to sit down, right, and talk to myself and just say, you know what, just be you, right? Just be you, because people fool with it. Like, just
Yeah.
be you. You know what I'm saying? And if you can dig deep into who you are, right, it doesn't matter if you're getting, you know, millions of people following you. If you can get a solid 100 people that's following you, that's going to support you with everything that you're doing, that holds more weight than the millions of people that's following you and doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's a fact.
there's plenty of times I've gone on people's pages and they have like, I don't know, 30, let's just throw a number out there, 37,000 followers, right? and then you go to their stuff and it's like probably 100 likes,
Yeah.
right?
and none of that stuff, and none of it turns into dollars for them.
Yeah,
None of it turns into dollars for them. They got hundreds of thousands of views, thousands of followers, and they can't sell a t-shirt
exactly.
because they're so focused on being popular artists instead of connecting with their fans and actually creating a community, which is
Yes.
important. You got to create a community. Just like you see the streamers, they create communities of people that subscribe to them monthly.
Mhm.
And they're dedicated supporters. That's what we
Yes.
need as artists. That's what we always needed as artists. But commercialized hip hop is glitz and glamour, cars and jewels. So of course, who don't want that?
Right.
But there's a way to obtain it without having to, lose your integrity or try to sound like the next. You can be yourself. There's a niche for every type of artist out here right now. You just have
That's
to
right.
find your lane, and run it up.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree.
Yeah.
All right. Out of left field, favorite rapper. Let's
Biggie.
see. First person. Oh, see? You didn't even hesitate. I was about to say first person that come to mind. You didn't even hold back. You were like, "Babe, I didn't even get done with saying it."
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason I started music was listening to Ready to Die.
Dude,
I heard that album and I started rapping. Real
listen,
talk.
I went back and I'm pretty sure a lot of people never heard this verse. I just yesterday, actually, I listened to this old verse from Biggie that freaking murdered it, right? It
Mhm.
was a song that he featured on. And I think it was, I want to say that it was even before he even dropped his first album, right?
Mhm.
It was with him and an artist out of Philly by the name of Tracy Lee. When you get a
Oh,
say, if you haven't heard that, you need to go and just look up Tracy Lee, Biggie Smalls, or Biggie or whatever. And I think the joint is called "Throw Your Hands High." Man, that
yeah,
his verse.
I remember. I don't remember the verse, but I remember that moment.
Yeah,
I
all right,
remember that moment.
so this is the homework. This is the homework right now.
Gotcha.
When we get done,
Uh-huh.
go right to the phone, look it up, and I guarantee you're probably gonna hit me up and be like, "Hey, I need you to redo that beat because it's probably gonna."
That's how I be too.
Because you're gonna be feeling so motivated, like, oh yeah, okay, I gotta go in now. Like, listen, that probably has to be my top Biggie verse right there. It has to be. Like,
Man,
go and listen to that. You're gonna be like, yo,
I
you're
think
real.
my favorite Biggie verse has to be I make your mouthpiece so beast like Della Reese. When I release, you lose teeth like
little
that verse.
Steez.
Oh my
Yeah,
god! Like
yeah.
that. Oh my god! That listen, that was one of my favorite Biggie verses ever. Like he killed that
Yeah,
joint.
yeah, yeah, definitely. He got a lot of joints, man.
Well, yeah. Oh my god, man, going before his time, man.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Biggie, man. Definitely the man right
Yeah.
there.
Yes, sir.
So, you ever been to Diddy's parties? I'm just fucking with you.
Nah, even though I live in Miami now, nah. Never been there. Never been there. I probably would have broke if I would have win, I probably would have broke out before it got crazy anyway. I'm still I'm still a hood nigga at heart, so I gotta stay on point. I still gotta stay on point with the celebrities, man. For real.
I had to check, see if he was sending you like gift baskets or freaking baby oil or something like that.
Oh
But
no,
listen.
nah. It's wedgie season. If Diddy did that, man. It's wedgie season. Real hip hop stuff, nigga.
Right.
We giving wedgies, like we giving noogies, like no, not over here. You
Not
gotta
over
be
here.
careful over here.
All right, so tell the people. I don't know. Do you have an official date for when the LP is gonna be dropping?
Not an official date. I'm aiming for the end of July, early August. The EP is called It's Vatio. And it's just all bangers, hip hop bangers, man. Real lyrical, rapping. Like it's like my introduction to the world. So it's just kind of like when you hear Kill the Noise, you'll get that vibe from the rest of the records on that EP. But
Yes,
I'm pushing for the end of July, early August for sure.
Well, y'all heard it right here on Kicking It with Killa. Vatio, the album, August, September, right? Make
Yeah,
sure
man,
when
man.
it comes out, y'all definitely stream it. You know what? We need to figure out a way so they can buy it. Forget the streaming stuff. We need to figure out a
Oh
way for
yeah,
y'all to buy it.
oh yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean?
I'm gonna definitely have the website up as well for people to buy hard copies, and whoever
There
buy
you go.
hard copies, I'm gonna be able to I'm gonna sign them off and mail them out to you. And I'm
Oh,
also
that's
gonna
dope.
have USB joints. I'm gonna have different ways of people to actually listen to the music, QR codes for them to actually go buy from my website. All types of man, I've been over here working, man. Once you
Yeah,
see everything laid out, you're gonna be like, oh, he ain't playing. You know what I
there you
mean?
go.
But they're gonna have so many different ways. And I'm right now, I just thought about the vinyls. I'm thinking about vinyls. I don't
Hmm.
know if I'm gonna do it with this project, but if I don't, it's definitely gonna be on my next full body of work. Because once I
You should
drop
just
this
do.
project,
You should do like a small amount of vinyls
yeah,
and like
small,
have
yeah,
it like a collective item. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. I was gonna have it very minimal, and it's just like a collector's item. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because after this project, I'm gonna just be rocking out with content and releasing singles. And then after a couple months of that, we're just gonna start pumping like 2026, we're just gonna start pumping out projects. But content right now is just killing the game with content, getting the noticeability, and getting some motion on the internet right now, and trying to build a community. So be on the lookout for my Discord as well and my Twitch. We
Okay.
get to start taking over on that. We about to start doing the Twitch thing where we, because I've been doing live streams for like 4 years. So now we're incorporating live streaming with the music. So the last time I was on TikTok, I recorded a record live on TikTok and got a lot of good feedback, and people was kind of putting in their inputs, and I want them to feel a part of the process. Like I said, I'm trying to build a
Yeah.
community. So yeah, man, it's about to be a crazy second half of the year for me.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Hey, Vatio, I want to thank you for coming on the show, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always, man. I can't
You
wait to
know, we're
see what you
definitely gonna
do
have
with
to
the
do this
show.
again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, it's your boy, DJ Killa Noise. Of course, kicking it with Killa, Vatio. We'll see y'all in the next episode.